Hi friends, this is the Weekly Connect for the second week in November 9th and 10th, and we're going to be continuing on with our lesson that God is omnipotent, and this week we're going to be focusing on the fact that he's trustworthy. So we're going to be studying Gideon. So we are in Judges 6 through 8, and before the story we're going to be playing a game called Catch the Midianites, where you just split your groups, your classrooms into two teams. One side will be the Israelites, one will be the Midianites, and you just have the Israelites chase the Midianites till they catch them all, tag them all, and then you can switch sides. Before you do that, though, we're going to talk about how God disoriented all the Midianites before Gideon went in and won the battle. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that disorientation and what that felt like for them. So we're going to just be doing a little fun activity and having the kids spin around in circles, and maybe even counting how long it takes until they're not dizzy anymore, or counting how many times they can turn around. If you have younger kids, maybe have them turn around 3 times and then tell them to stop and see if they're dizzy. If not, do them 4 times. I'm just playing something like that because that might be a little bit less hectic if you just play a game kind of trying to get the kids dizzy rather than playing tag in the room, because I know some of our rooms are pretty small. So those are your 2 ideas for before the story. And then, like I said, you'll go into your story, and I have to apologize to you. When I wrote this curriculum, I was taking it from an old curriculum that I had written years and years ago, and then I had received a free curriculum from Share Faith, and I loved it so much that I combined the 2. And I just realized right now when I went to tape this for you, that the story is actually like 3.5 pages long. I just got really, really worried. But Gideon is a fascinating story. So you can pick out the parts that work for you that you want to talk about. Obviously, it's going to go from when he was not challenging, I don't want to say challenging, but he was not even testing. What's the word I'm looking for? When Gideon was just asking for signs. When he was asking for signs from God, and then God gave him the sign of keeping the fleece wet or having it wet and everything around it being dry, all those things. So it's so interesting. It's hard to leave any of that out, obviously, since I put every single word of it in. So sorry, storytellers. But look it over, see what you know, and then of course it goes into the battle where they have the torches and the clay jars, and they go in and they get all the Midianites get all disoriented. And obviously we want to stick with that part because God said that the Israelites would be triumphant, and Gideon trusted him, and God is trustworthy. And so they were able to take on the Midian army and defeat them. So that's what we're going to be concentrating on. So again, storytellers, I'm so sorry that was so long. Just like me right now when I'm blathering on and on and on. That's what I did when I was writing the curriculum. Oops, sorry. Then you have the blessing, as always. You have the after story activity. The questions in here were from the Share Faith curriculum that we had received, and they're great questions. A lot of deep discussions in here too, so you can definitely use that time for just like a discussion time. You can use it during your prayer time and kind of pray together as you're doing this discussion time, or if you'd like to somehow correlate it with the craft that we're going to be doing, you can just ask the questions, and maybe if the kids get it right, then everybody gets the paper bag, because this is going to be in our craft, right? And then ask another question, and if they get it right, they get a piece of red tissue paper or yellow tissue paper, whatever. You can just kind of correlate it with the craft, and they're answering these questions in order to get the equipment that they need, the supplies that they need for the craft. So that moves us on to the craft. So I forgot, all I brought with me was this paper bag, and I'm sure the hospital has tissue paper, and I could go ask for it, but I figured you guys are pretty smart and you can kind of imagine in your heads. We'll use our imaginations for what this torch is going to look like, okay? Because I don't have any tissue paper. I left it at home, so sorry. But here is the paper bag. This is going to be the bottom of your torch. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the red, the orange, and the yellow tissue paper that you have. You have pieces, and you're going to have the kids just kind of glue it inside the paper bag, just like that. And then they can either, depending on the child, they could either crumple up this bag and make it just like this, or they can even roll it, rolling it like this and make it kind of a torch type thing like this, so it's more rounded at the top, and then their flame will come out at the top. So imagine that I did what I was supposed to do, and I brought the tissue paper and there's flames coming out of it. Okay, so just imagine with me. And that's what they're going to be making for their craft. So it's a very easy craft, but kind of a fun thing for them to remember how Gideon was used by God to defeat the Midianites. And then next week we're going to be moving on to Judges 13 through 16, where we're going to hear about Samson and Delilah. So it's a great lesson as well. As always, if you have any questions, you can email me and I would be happy to answer them for you, or you can always talk to your campus supervisor, and I'm sure that they would be able to help you with that as well. So thank you very much. Have a great week and happy planning on your teaching.